The reason we're here today is because we're going to talk about the Thames River and different ways that has impacts and the ways that we're working on helping reduce those impacts on how phosphorus ends up in Lake Erie.
Again, it ponds the water, takes it down there to a drain behind you and then off to the creek in that direction there.
The other more advanced way that we sample the creek is using an auto sampler, which is what this whole setup is. So this allows us to program a sampling program and take samples throughout an interval throughout a certain period of time.
This morning we went to McPherson's farm and we learned about the different types of soil erosion and how to prevent it. There's different inlets you could use to help drain the water so it doesn't go into the Great Lakes.
I would say it's interesting to see how the ways that we can change the watershed and how we can move the water instead of going to the lake or taking a different path. We can now direct it to another path and save it from causing Lake Erie to get algae blooms or stopping more phosphorus from moving along.
As the water levels drop, it'll slowly come back out. There's actually a concrete head wall buried inside there with a certain sized opening just to control that outlet release. So with this cell 2, the larger cell here, we created about 1.3 kilometers of fish habitat, and that was never here before. And then with cell 1 over on the other side, we created about 0.5 kilometers worth of fish habitat.
I found it interesting at the Dingman Creek about how they created it with the islands for the turtle nesting, and they had the basking logs for the turtles, and just how the whole creek was, or pond I guess, the wetland area was just providing habitats for different animal species.
Not only does the Dingman's Creek habitats for animals and that, but it also helps purify the water.
The students are learning about this on this tour because they're going to be faced with a challenge statement tomorrow. And that challenge statement is, how might we encourage Lake Erie watershed residents to adopt behaviors to minimize phosphorus entering the lake?
Considering what we've learned so far today, I'm looking forward to learning more ways on how to prevent or reduce phosphorus going into Lake Erie.
So welcome to the West Elgin Wastewater Treatment Plant.
So I found interesting at the water treatment plant how the different things they go through and different chemicals they use to actually get the phosphorus out and stuff like that, the ammonium and the air oxygen being put into the water.
Well, it's been great. The program is even more than I expected. We've been talking about this stuff in our classrooms, but it really doesn't mean the same until you get out there and have the conservation people have been talking to us about a lot of different topics, a lot of information, but then we go right out to the places, to the farm, to the sewage treatment plant, to these areas, and the kids understand it, they connect it right away and see what's happening and see all about it. And it's not a classroom setting. You learn a lot like a classroom, but you're getting a really in-depth outdoor experience with the great learning that we need to do about this issue.
I think it's good that we learned how to take out phosphorus in the water and stuff like that, and how much the people do it and how to do it more productively and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool that we'll learn how to do that.